What's up, guys? It's your girl Shalina with Shalina Speaks. And as you know, this is your go-to spot for anything pop culture, urban culture, news, life, everything in between, mental health, you name it, we talk about it over here. So before we get started on the big topic, which is this $5,000 DOGE dividend, I think we need to get into exactly how did we get here and why people seem to think that there may be a possibility that we get some type of stimulus check, in regards to all the savings that Elon Musk has found. So before we do that, let's just get into what President Trump himself had to say about the situation, because I think, me personally, I think that's what sparked the entire situation and sparked the conversation. But let's just go ahead and get into what Trump has to say.
Saving taxpayers billions and billions of dollars every single day. And there's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the DOGE savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt, which is, if you look at value, if it were a real estate balance sheet, the debt is tiny, but we still want to pay it down. Doesn't matter. And we don't look at it as a piece of real estate. It's America. We're going to get it down through intelligence, hard work, and, as Elon said, a word called caring. You have to care. By doing this, Americans will tell us where there's waste. They'll be reporting it themselves. They participate in the process of saving money. So many of the men and women in this room, as an example, they pay tremendous amounts of taxes. And here are just a few examples of where your money was going before I came along. These are just some of the, just taken at random. Oh, there are much worse examples than this. I was just looking at them before the speech, and I can tell you they were much worse. And there are some that are horrible, but I don't want to really say them because they're very, very embarrassing to people. Very, very embarrassing.
So as you can see, he had a lot to say about, how we got here and, how this possibility, because we're having all these savings that, we could get 20% given back to the American people. Well, here's what Jasmine Crockett had to say about what President Trump had to say here. So let's just get into it.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from DOGE back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID. That was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us, because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime, because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
So as you can see, she had a lot to say about, what Trump had to say based off of, statistics and, the past, what has happened in the past. So, yep, you heard it. That's right. He's talking about 20%. I'm not sure how they got up with that number. I mean, I guess it's based off the overall, and so that's that. Now, as Jasmine Crockett said, we are not in the business of giving out money. And then she went on to say, honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you. Shots fired. But me personally, I feel like $5,000 would do a lot for the American people, especially those who are really, really, really struggling. And it would do a lot for anyone nowadays if you really look at the economy and everything that we have going on. But I also agree with Jasmine Crockett to an extent on we're not in the business of just giving out money, because if that was the case, we would have been helping our people a long time ago. We would have had more programs. We would have had, more grants, more things that can help the communities and things of that nature if that was the case. So let's go ahead and get into it a little bit deeper so we can kind of understand what's going on. So what's the thing Trump and his allies are pushing? Here's the deal. The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, is a program aimed at slashing federal spending and finding savings in government operations. Investors like James Fishback and Elon Musk, yes, Elon Musk, have thrown their support behind the idea of DOGE can cut $2 trillion in wasteful spending, and a percentage of that should go back to taxpayers. So you see, that's kind of where that came in, right? So the math they tossed around, 20% of the savings would be direct payouts to American taxpayers, right? And 20% will go to paying down the national debt. So that's where the $5,000 per household estimate comes from. But is it really free money, or is it like a flashy campaign? You know what I mean? Like, is it really going to be something? I don't know. Trump is all in. So it's a win for the people if it definitely goes through the process that it needs to go through for those things to happen. You know what I mean? And then Elon Musk is co-signing it. That says a lot. He's co-signing it. He's saying that basically we can afford it because he's over the Department of Government Efficiency. So I think that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? And he's pushing for more government transparency and efficiency. And he believes taxpayers deserve a cut. And I believe that too. However, let's get into what House Speaker Mike Johnson said. He said, not so fast. Some Republicans, fiscal hawks, don't love the idea. They rather see the savings going towards reducing national debt instead of sending out stimulus-style checks. Now, we do have a lot of national debt. I do agree with that. I do agree we do have a lot of national debt, and we do need to pay that down. We as a company, a business, a nation, however you want to look at it, a unit, we need to have our ducks in a row, and we need to have our own backyard cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? So if we owe some people, we need to pay them. It's just that simple. So, and a lot of people are saying that, what Jasmine Crockett said, that she absolutely slammed him on it. And I guess it's all about, you got to see it to believe it. I mean, the American people have been played with so many times over and over again. It's like, we got to see it to believe it. And we understand, that once in a lifetime thing that happened with the pandemic, the amount, we've gotten a stimulus check before from Obama, but I think it was like $500 or something. I think it was, I can't remember. I would have to go do the research and look it up again. Because it was so long ago. But let's be real. What would $5,000 actually do for you right now? Let's just really think about it. Like, for some, that's a rent check. For some, that's a car payment. For some, that's a cushion from inflation. But for others, it's like a one-time Band-Aid, I think maybe $5,000 per person in household, that would make sense. Because that would definitely stimulate the economy. That would definitely make a difference. That would definitely help people out a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But financial experts did weigh in and warn that dumping billions of dollars into the economy this way could spike inflation. I mean, they said that it did this with the stimulus checks. So like when we went through the whole pandemic thing. So do we want to do that? I don't know. If it means that we're going to go through another inflation spike, then I don't want it, because at that point, it's not doing anything for us. You know what I mean? So the bigger picture, it would help people a little bit. But the bigger picture overall, it's not going to help us in the long run. I mean, eggs in some places, a dozen are $9.99, $10. $10. Let's not even talk about gas. Let's just not talk about the basic necessities. Let's talk about states like California and those prices. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And my heart's thoughts and prayers go out to Californians everywhere. It goes out to everyone who's struggling during these stupid inflation spikes. But California's gotten hit pretty hard with inflation. And so, that's just my take on it, guys. I don't know. That's how I feel about the situation. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Would you cash that $5,000 DOGE dividend check if it hit your account? Like, would you really go through with it? Like, drop your comments below, or you can hit me up on X, formerly known as Twitter, at ShalenaSpeaks_. I truly want to hear from you guys. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you really like this video, go ahead and subscribe. And if you really mess with it, go ahead and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself and others. Peace.